Leaders, your hierarchy is broken and is causing rampant employee disengagement. Find out more on today's episode of Raising the Bar. Omar L. Harris. The year is 1901. Ransom Olds, owner and founder of the Old Motor Vehicle Company, also known as Oldsmobile, is looking for a way to boost automobile production. Taking a cue from Eli Whitney, he applies the concept of using unskilled labor and standardized parts and invents the first assembly line. Then, in 1923, Henry Ford builds upon Old's design by using the moving platforms of a conveyor system. In this system, the chassis of the vehicle is towed by a rope that moves it from station to station in order to allow workers to assemble each part. In this way, Ford can produce a Model T every 90 minutes. What really drove this system of mass production was the creation of a layer of worker oversight known as frontline management. People tasked with ensuring employees conducted their discrete tasks within specifications and speeding up or slowing down production as needed. This layer of management was considered necessary because those doing the assembly were fundamentally unskilled workers who couldn't be trusted to produce without oversight. Ultimately, divisions of production will be organized under so-called middle managers who reported up to executive management. And as rewards in terms of status, money, and recognition flowed upwards to the top of the hierarchy, orders and demand flowed down to the workers, creating a social and material divide between those doing the work and those ensuring that the work was done according to executive whims. If this concept sounds familiar, it shouldn't. This is the same framework that slavers utilized in the production of cotton and tobacco in the South. Enslaved people toiled in the fields under the sharp gaze of hardened horse-bound overseers charged with whipping any slave guilty of slacking off from their work. It's no surprise then to learn that the term boss originated from the Dutch word baas, which means master, as in slave and master. It's also the same framework leveraged by the military, which operates under a system of command and control, where orders are issued from the top of the military ranks towards soldiers who must execute in accordance with these instructions exactly. This is the organizational structure that persists to this day, and it is fundamentally unsuited to the reality of how work is done today. We don't live in a world where unskilled laborers are tasked with repetitive manufacturing of a small piece of the overall production process. Robotics is and will continue to reshape and automate all manners of routine work. Production today is about defining good strategy, decision making, managing change and transformation, and enhancing implementation via robust problem solving, communication and transparency, and the understanding of how to maximize the talents of groups of people in the service of organizational purpose. Production today is fundamentally a feature of leadership. But when leaders operate within a top-down hierarchy, certain fundamental necessities are inhibited, such as trust, commitment, and accountability, which lead to consistent performance challenges. When I see data reflecting that 23% of the world workers are engaged by work. Only 23%. I make the direct link to how work is being directed by a model that hasn't been relevant since the 70s. But there is a solution: inversion. When we flip the traditional hierarchy on its head, we fundamentally reorient the work being done back to the creation of value for those customers for without whom our organizations would cease to exist. From there, bossing of others is replaced by directing, coaching, empowering, and delegating, all of which are skills employed by servant leaders. It's important that we understand the origin of the systems we blindly apply and follow in modern contexts. When we use an outdated tool for a novel problem, we miss the mark at best and corrupt the very outcomes we are trying to produce at worst. Let's raise the bar on leadership and stop bossing and overseeing in favor of serving and supporting. When we take care of employees, they will externalize the same care for our customers, communities, environments, and shareholders. See you next week.